So after talking about the median and the mean, the next measure of center that we're going to talk about is the mode. Now, when you want to use the mode is typically when you're dealing with some sort of categorical data, right? So an example of this is maybe the color of cars. If I stood on a street and I counted the number of red cars, the number of blue cars, black cars, silver cars, so on and so forth for some set period of time, say 5 minutes, and I counted them up, I can't go and take that data and come up with an average cars, right? There's not really a meaningful way to take an average of colors, right? I certainly could blend all of those colors together proportionately to the number of cars there are, but that's not going to necessarily be representative of any of the cars that I saw in that day. So, when we're talking about the mode, what we're talking about is the most frequently occurring item in a categorical data set. So, for example, with the cars, if I saw 10 red cars, 8 blue cars, 6 silver cars, and 4 black cars, the mode is going to be red, right? Or a red car. That is the car that I saw with highest frequency or most often. It is the car that best represents my data set as a whole, even though it really only represents one partner of that data set. So typically, that is how we are going to deal with the mode. There are some numerical applications. We can see here on the lesson, there are actually numerical applications of the mode. Here we're given data set. Looks like this just has numbers. Maybe this is the number of t-shirts owned by an individual, right? And we've taken a survey of these 20 or so people, and we see that a few people only own one t-shirt. There's one t-shirt aficionado who owns 6 t-shirts, right? But we can count the frequency, and we've done so in a table here to see which occurs most frequently. And in this case, that happens to be about in the middle, with 9 instances of the number 3, right? You'll often find this is the case if you're dealing with some sort of ordinal data, right? The classic example is a t-shirt size, right? Small, medium, large, extra large, etc. You can sort of find, the mode t-shirt, right? Where you have this ordinal data, right? There's a natural order to the data, and a lot of the times when you're dealing with that sort of thing, you do end up with a value, a mode that's sort of in the middle of that ordinal data. But like I was mentioning with the car example, there's no inherent order, right? I guess you could line up the colors in the same order of the alphabet, but that's not particularly meaningful, right? Red is not inherently less than black or silver or purple or blue, right? So, but, we can see here, in order to calculate the mode, what you simply need to do is you need to count the frequency of all of the items in the data set and find out which is the most frequent, and that will be your mode, right? We can see here we have this table. I have 2 1s, 2 2s, looks like 9 3s, 4 4s, 3 5s, and 1 6, right? The most frequent is my 9, so that's going to be my mode. And of course we can do this again in code, which we'll be doing a little bit later. Right here we have another data set, and it says sometimes a data set might have more than one mode, right? For example, this data set happens to have 2 modes, right? Both 3 and 4 have equal frequencies, so we would represent the mode as both of these values, right? You would want to represent both of them and not just choose one of the 2. Right, so we would say the mode of B here is both 3 and 4. Those are the most frequently occurring items in this data set. So, similar to median, there's not a ton of notational consensus, but you'll often see sort of like a function in the same syntax that we use Python, right? The mode of A, if A is our data set. You'll also see the capital, just MO sometimes in a book. That's pretty rare. Mode's a pretty short letter, short word. You'll often just see it spelled out or listed as a function here, right? And so that's it for talking about the mode. We're going to have 2 more videos. In the next video, we're going to walk through finding the mode with Python. We're going to do it from scratch, and then we're going to import function and find that mode. And then after we've done that, we're going to talk about, when should I use the mode? When should I use the median? When should I use the mean? And really hash that out and figure out what is the best way for us to use all of those things, and when is the appropriate time to use each of them based on what our data is. So that's it for this video. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you over there in the next video to find the mode in Python.